Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another Make a Card Monday video. Today I'm going to be creating a card that is inspired by this card from Barb Engler. She sent this to me in last month's mail call, and I thought it was just super pretty. I love the watercoloring with the white sentiment over top and some kind of droplets of color. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to take that sort of technique or idea as inspiration to create my own card. So the first thing I'm doing is taping down some watercolor paper onto a hard surface. This is just a board that I bought online from cheapjoes.com. They're an art supply store. And I'm just taping this down with some blue masking tape. The reason why you want to tape down your watercolor paper is because, like any other paper, when moisture is added, it will start to curl up. So if you're going to be putting this on a card, or if you want to make sure that your final watercolor piece lays very flat, you need to tape it down so that as it dries, it stays flat. Taking some water and just doing an entire wash over that watercolor paper. And I'm going to be dropping in just a few different colors. These colors are inspired by the card kit that I used last Friday in Friday's video. It is the January card kit from SimonsTheStamp.com. Has some really pretty purples and some teals and greens, and I just thought it'd be really fun to sort of use that same color combination to create a watercolor background. So I've used sort of like a diagonal pattern. You can sort of see a triangle in that purple area, and I'm going to use green to fill in the rest of that area. After I put in a softer wash of color, I used a smaller brush to pick up a higher concentration of pigment. So it's less water than pigment, and makes it so it's a little bit thicker and the color is darker. So I'm just bringing in some little spots like that. I also did that with the purple. I noticed on Barb's card that there were some spots that had a little bit more color than others, and I really liked that look. So I thought I would try doing that with this one as well. So just bring in all of that green, and I'm going to add a little bit of a dark blue. I'm using some black and blue watercolor and kind of mixing it together and adding that to the very bottom of this watercolor background. I just want a little bit of a hint of a darker color at the very bottom, and I'll go grab some purple to sort of blend that in so that it becomes a dark violet. I think it looks really, really pretty, and just adding a little bit of depth to the bottom of this watercolor. Took my large brush and got some water on it, and I just wanted to soften some of those really dark areas because they weren't spreading as much because there wasn't much water there. So I just wanted to add a little bit more water and kind of move things around a little bit. At this point, I wasn't really liking the background, actually. I was thinking, oh dear, I'm going to have to throw this one out and restart the camera and refilm this until I get something I like, which sometimes I do that when I'm watercoloring. Watercoloring is sometimes just completely unpredictable, or not even sometimes, it always is very unpredictable, and you just don't know what you're going to get until you're farther along in the process. So I decided to just go on faith and just keep working, and decided to add some more of those droplets like Barbara had on her card. And she had just a few, but I'm adding quite a bit because this background is quite large in comparison. And I added some purple and some green. And then I grabbed my distress paint in Picket Fence. And I'm going to go ahead and splatter on some of this white paint. I did have to water it down, so it's not too noticeable once it's dry. Right now you can really see a lot of those white dots, but as I take my heat tool to it and dry this background, you'll notice that the white drops kind of fade into the background. They're quite subtle. I liked that effect, and I still wasn't quite sure if I really loved this background because it just looked like it had a whole lot of paint swatches going on. I didn't like how it looked, but I thought I would go ahead and emboss on top of it and do the rest of my card design that I had planned. And I'm glad I did go ahead and do that because in the end, I really did love how it turned out. So I'm using that same stamp set that I used on Friday, which is the hand-lettered Winter Wishes stamp set. It's included in that card kit, and you can also buy it separately. This is a stamp set that I designed, and I absolutely loved how the hand lettering turned out on this stamp set, and I really wanted to use it on a few more cards before I move on to something else to show you guys, so I thought I would go ahead and use it in today's card. So I prepped that watercolor background with my powder tool and then went into stamping all of the design in Versamark ink. Versamark is a very sticky ink, so it's great for heat embossing and applying heat embossing powder. So I just did everything in stages and steps because when you stamp in Versamark, it's completely clear and you can't see where you've stamped until you add the embossing powder. So after I stamped each element, then I applied the white embossing powder. This is Hero Art's white embossing powder, by the way. And then once everything was stamped, including some little hearts and stars from the same stamp set, I heat set that with my heat tool until everything was melted. This is basically the card design, but I do need to make it into a card. So I took some Basil marshmallow cardstock and created a standard size card. So the finished and folded size is 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 tall. I trimmed down that watercolor piece to be that same exact size and then used some Tombow Extreme Adhesive to adhere the watercolor piece to the card front. The Extreme Adhesive from Tombow is fantastic for cases like this because watercolor paper does tend to warp after you've applied it and sometimes it doesn't want to stick, but that adhesive is very, very strong and it does stick, so it turned out great. Here's Barb's card. Just wanted to give a big thank you to Barb. She has no idea I'm using this. I hope she doesn't mind. We're good friends and we've met each other in person, so I don't think she'll mind. Please head over to Barb's blog. I'll put a link down in the video description. And thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it was inspiring for some watercoloring. And I have 3 more watercolor cards for you to check out. Some use regular watercolors or some use distress inks. I think they all have a really great effect. So go ahead and click on any of those videos on screen right now so you can get some more watercolor inspiration. Please hit that subscribe button in the top corner and you can visit my blog at kwarnerdesign.com. Once again, thank you so much for watching and I will catch you guys on Wednesday for a new Color Wednesday video.